Hello, happy Tuesday. I hope you are having a beautiful start to the full moon and Scorpio, which I'm super excited about. My rising sign in astrology is Scorpio. And when I started paying attention to that and not my sun sign, I feel like everything is changing. And so I started learning more about my Scorpio rising at a retreat in September. And then I just keep having more people coming up to me talking about astrology. And then when I tell them about being a Scorpio rising, it's just like all these things. So I'm extra excited for this full moon. And I hope that you are too. We are really in the frequency of miracles since this major eclipse. And there's just so many things that are happening in the universe that haven't happened in hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years. And so this really is such a beautiful, special time for us to really just step up and claim our sovereignty. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little card pull. And I'm like not surprised at all what we got, but I'm just very grateful and excited. So the first card that I pulled from the Tracy R. Clark deck is the Command Miracle Frequency. And I was at a retreat with my amazing, beautiful friend, Joshua Bloom, who created Quantum Energy Transformation all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was absolutely life-changing. And we talked a lot about miracle frequency, and he is well known for living at a frequency of 10,000 hertz, which is like super wild and amazing. And I actually got to experience that, and he taught us how to do that. And so being in my community, like I'm going to be sharing that amazing healing information with you. If you're already in the Voxer container with me for April, obviously I know that you're feeling it, and it's really just being open to miracles. But then also this card, just again, like reminding us to command, was another big moment for me too, because so often we feel like we're connecting to source, but we're still coming from this energy of like begging or like asking, but kind of asking is like the shy little kid at the grocery store, like, Mom, can I get this? When you really like know the answer, versus like, I command, like there's no reason I can't get into this frequency. There's no reason I can't expect miracles and receive miracles every single day. And allowing yourself to command the energy that you want and to actually command the reality that you want. And so one of the things that we'll be talking a lot about the master class on Friday and Saturday definitely is around this giving yourself permission to desire things and helping us kind of untangle the programming that we have, whether we're conscious of it or not. And I mean, I know people who have had really beautiful, magical childhood, but they still had program. They were in the public school system and their parents were really worried about money and their parents fought a lot. So it doesn't have to be this big complicated thing when we're talking about subconscious programming. It can really just be someone being 5 minutes late picking you up from school one time when you were 2, and that fight or flight got stuck in your heart, it got stuck in your brain. And whenever you feel not heard or not remembered or not listened to, these things are going off. Like your brain and your heart are like, we're stressed here, we're going into fight or flight. And when you go into fight or flight, 80% of your brain shuts down, specifically this part, the most beautiful part, the prefrontal cortex. And so all of these things are connected. So commanding miracle frequency for you. And then I also pulled the increased signs, and I love this card because increased signs is like my favorite thing ever, but also it has a whale. And one of my friends who's been getting some like really profound, beautiful downloads for me that have been like monumentally helpful. Her whale is her spirit animal. So I love this card, extra. And I've been thinking about this a lot the last 2 days. I've been having like wild signs to the point where every single moment of my day is connecting, and I'm seeing this beautiful thread of how things are connected. I will be thinking of a word, and then I will see it on my phone, or have Seinfeld going on in the background when I'm working. Sometimes like I'll hear that word and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. When I was driving to see a friend this morning to go to a yoga class, I was thinking about the possibilities of all of the fun different things that are going to kind of happen at the masterclass, just because I mean, I'm doing it for 2 days, 3 hours each day, but it's still like a lot of information that I want to get to. But F in the Fallon method is for fun. And then the A in Fallon is for authenticity. And so I was thinking about, I was like, wow, it's like, I can literally probably do an entire 20-hour course on fun and authenticity. But for the purpose of like the masterclass, like I want to condense it and make it more of like a workshop versus just like talking at you guys. And I was laughing. So I was like, wow, I wonder like how long we're going to spend in authenticity, just because I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck. And so I'm like thinking about authenticity and like just curious what's going to pop up for us and like what's going to pop up for me. And I literally see a sign, like a beautiful, colorful sign that is brand new because I go on this road a lot in Atlanta, and it said boldly authentic. And so I just started laughing. So I was like, wow, like there could not be a signier sign. And then it made me think, right? Like, okay, I'm going to process this information, be grateful for the sign, but also pay attention. Do I feel like I'm authentic or do I feel like I'm boldly authentic? And then I was like, is there really a difference? And then I was kind of thinking that would be a fun lesson to share at the masterclass. Like you're either authentic or you're not. Like you're either being 100% yourself or you're not. So give you a little sneak peek to what we're going to be talking about on Friday and Saturday. And then the third card that I chose for us today is the Increased Spiritual Connection card, which I feel like we get a lot. In my containers, we get this card a lot. And I just love it so much because that's what it's all about. It's about connecting with God's source energy and then bringing that energy to yourself so that you can live in a place of miracles and seeing signs and synchronicities everywhere. And one of the cool things that I learned this weekend that I'm going to be teaching and helping guys integrate at the masterclass Friday, Saturday is this concept of working with spirit at a like 3D level. And when I say that, so often as healers and empaths, like we spend so much time here in our crown or in our third eye, and then, you know, the chakras that are above us, and then, you know, we have like the soul star, and then it keeps going. And then we're like, okay, we're talking to God's source energy. We're talking to the angelic realms. We're in different dimensions. We're always thinking up. And like, one of the biggest things that I've learned is we need to stay down. And we need to be focusing on the base of our spine and allowing the energy up here to come to us. They're here to support us. Like, why can't we just allow them to come down? And I did this amazing meditation, which I'm going to guide everyone through at the masterclass, where I literally invited my higher self and my future self. And when I say future self, like this is the Fallon that I'm excited to meet in just 2 months. This is not that far ahead. And on my, you know, on this particular space timeline that I'm talking about, I was talking to 2 months ahead Fallon. And we took the higher self of me and the future me, and we actually integrated her into my current body. And like, as you can imagine, that was crazy powerful. Like I've never experienced anything like that. And I'm going to be doing like an amazing testimonial video for Joshua Bloom because his quantum energy transformation retreat, like literally changed my life. I feel like a totally different person. And I'm just like, so grateful for all of the things that are popping in that I get to share with you. And this Fallon method is causing like a buzz. So if you sent me an email or just told somebody about me because like something came on for you, like I just want to say thank you so much because this has kind of been part of my authenticity journey. From a very young age, I've always been very good at like mnemonics and acronyms and all of those things. Like that's how I actually learned and studied. And so when I started working on it and I was like, I'm just going to make a Fallon method. This was like 6 months ago, maybe. And I just kind of had it saved in my Canva and then was like, I'll pay attention to it when I'm meant to. And I went through all of this crazy stuff. And one of them was losing someone who, you know, soul fam, like I thought she was going to be in my life for a long time. And unfortunately, things did not go very well. And our authenticity journey, it was just not lining up anymore. And she was the one that like got really excited about the Fallon method. And then it was literally the next day after like just kind of cutting that cord that I finished the ebook and have been like creating programs around it. So this masterclass Friday, Saturday, I'm probably going to do a mastermind at some point. Probably going to be using this a lot. I mean, I'm going to be using it in my one-on-one containers just in general, because it's like everything that I'm into. But as far as like the actual method and like focusing on the fun, and boosting that in your life, focusing on the authenticity, focusing on the leadership and what leadership even means. I know people with leadership degrees from Stanford and Harvard, and like, they're not living in leadership at all. And they're not in authenticity, and they're not in fun. They are in major scarcity fear. And then openness, we're going to be talking about living your soul purpose, which is a lot to do with listening to your own intuition, and human designs definitely is a big part of that. And then the N in Fallon is natural solutions, which is wild. I mean, I'm building courses around the natural solutions. If you haven't seen my posts about my ADHD course, I'm doing a dementia prevention course right now. I have a course on hyperbaric oxygen therapy and how much that helps everything. So just the N in Fallon is like going to be its own thing. So I'm excited to see how much we're able to cover this weekend. But I definitely invite you to come. It's going to be super, super amazing. I am going to pull another card from the Work Your Light deck to see what else could be helpful for us. You can't make this shit up. It's the Leap card. You go first. The universe will catch you. And if you're in my Voxer container right now, I know you're laughing because I feel like I send you this card like literally every day when I pull a card. And I actually, one of the marketing emails that I wrote about the Fallon method is all about this card. So this is like super, super amazing. But it's so true, right? Like you have to trust. And so many people are on their deathbed and they regret not doing the things they wanted to do. And it was literally just about giving themselves permission. And it comes down to money, and it comes down to worrying about what other people think. We're going to be talking a lot about money on the masterclass, and in all of my containers, I'm always going to be talking to you about money. Talking about money is the same as talking about your diet and your spiritual practice. Like it's part of you. It's part of our lives. It's something that we need to heal and allow money to work for us, not the other way around. And then also a lot of people don't leap because they're afraid of what other people are going to think, and they're afraid of letting other people down, or just in general worrying about what other people think. Why do you care what anybody thinks? Like, you're meant to be here to spread your unique magic in the world. There is no one else like you on the entire planet. There never will be, even if you're an identical twin. You have a soul purpose. You have a mission. And if you're here right now and today, full moon Scorpio, like, it's all about that fire, letting the fire burn off the things that are no longer serving you, letting the water calm you, letting the water cleanse you, letting the water take all of your shit. Let it take the toxins from your body. Let it take the scarcity mindset from your cells, from your energy field. Let it cleanse your aura. Let it repair tears. If you have tears in your aura, like all of those things, like don't be one of those people that regrets. And if you're here, there's a pretty good chance that you're not one of those people, but I just feel like I had to say it. I'm going to read the Leap card definition for you. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. To me, it's like literal, right? Like getting an airplane. Perhaps you know what you're being called to leap toward or away from, but are scared to make the move. Or maybe perhaps you're waiting for a big fat sign. Here's your big fat sign. Or instruction manual or permission to do so first. You don't need those, but like if you join the Fallon Method Masterclass, we can talk more about, using a guide of some sort. And permission, like permission slips. Like if you have not written yourself a permission slip to have XYZ and permission slip to not have XYZ, please do that immediately. So if any of this relates to you, this is your sign, and permission to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know and hope for something new. And it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. What we know for sure is everything that has happened until this moment that has kept us alive, which is when you try to do something new. New means we haven't done this before, we could die. So it's your brain actually trying to protect you on a, 3D reptilian angle. But that's why we have to tune into our heart. And that's why we have to turn into our breath, our thymus, our lungs, like all of that, and couple that with our intuition while staying grounded. It's not a lot. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So it's scary to let go of all that we know and hope for something new. It's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure, but nothing's for sure. Nothing is for sure. Thought I was gonna work at Amen clinics forever. That was not the case. This is an unavoidable process of rising. Leaping is an unavoidable process of rising. Right now, this is how you're being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes each year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow once was so full of life to fall away leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what once was. But in the morning of spring, new shoots begin to appear and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. Absolutely incredible. I love that so much because it is spring here in Atlanta and like everything is green and beautiful flowers like everywhere. And it just like makes my heart so happy. And I spent a lot of time at a river last week because I just kind of felt called. I'm a mermaid. Like if my legs go too long without water, like I feel like I'm gonna die. So went to the river for a couple days and it was like amazing because it just reminded me of this change. And if you saw my Instagram post about it, I was just watching the ripples of the water. I was just like, be the water, be the water, be the water. Like, let the water take the stress, let this water take anything that's not serving me. And then that was the first day. And then the second day, I found a different spot that I hadn't seen previously. And I was like, I really want to sit in the sun and like read my book here with my feet in the water. The water was extremely cold, so I wasn't like swimming around or anything. And I opened up my book that I haven't read since the last time I did like a nature synchronicity day. And the page of the book that I opened to was all about like this analogy of like a river and ripples of change and like everything is changing, nothing is constant. And I was just like, again, like, could you have more of a signier sign? So I'm sending you lots of love. I'm sending you lots of healing. I kind of set the container for some high vibes before I got on, and there was a lot of shit moving. I wanted this to be shorter for you, so I tried to do everything before I hit record. So I hope that you're feeling the shifts. I hope that you are having the most magical full moon, and I hope to see you at the master class. And if you want to come and you can't pay the $55, then you really need to come because clearly you really have some serious money shit that we need to work on and clear, and we can easily do that. And also it is $55 for Friday and Saturday. I don't know how many people are planning to come to both days. So I'm kind of teaching this, like I'm going to go through the Fallon method from the beginning, both days. But as we know, we never know where we're going to end up. And if there is space, then I will be doing one-on-one readings and healings for anyone who does desire that and wants to show up. So highly recommend that. But if you want to come both days, you totally, totally can. And if you invite someone new, so someone that's never heard of me before and you just feel like it would be fun for them to join us, then I will actually give you a free one-on-one energy healing session. It's pretty amazing, pretty generous. I want more people to know about this. It starts with you telling people, like, I don't have $1 million to invest in my marketing quite yet. And I don't feel like going against Tony Robbins and all of the crazy ad spenders out there. So I'm just asking you to share if this is helpful for you and if the information is helpful for you. I promise like your life is going to shift if you come to this masterclass, and I can't wait to see you there. And I just hope that you have the most amazing magical week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.